Here are some quick tips for this season's game. How should teams find new outreach opportunities?
They should email and call local STEM-related businesses.
How should teams split up leadership?
Experienced members from each subcategory should be the heads of those categories.
How should teams find new mentors?
Teams can find mentors in schools and businesses.
What resources should a team use to learn about code?
Game Manual Zero can be used to learn about software and hardware.
How should teams approach this season's game?
Teams should use an engineering design process.
How should teams overcome obstacles together?
Teams should focus on inclusivity and being open to each other's ideas.
How should teams go about finding sponsorships?
Outreaching to local businesses.
What size or weight should the robot be? 1. How many obstacles are on the field? 2. How much space is between the field elements? 3. Do we need to climb, hang, or drive up or on to a platform?
What type of intake is needed to pick up the game element? Should the ender factor be a claw? Should it be a rotator intake using wheels? Should we just push the game element? What is the size and weight of the game element?
Thank you for watching our video.
Good luck with the new FTC season from Team 7341 French Fries.
Hey guys, Rashant here from FTC Team 7477 Super 7, and today I will be going over a couple websites you can use to assist yourself this season. First up, we have FTC Scout. This website is incredibly useful when you're trying to track and scout teams or even league meets, states, and world championships. You can see all the different events and point systems there. Once you go to the search bar here, you can search up different teams, team numbers, and the team name. So right here, 7477, the team I'm on, you can see their full details, their sponsors, location, rookie year, and more. Now we have Game Manual Zero. This website is also incredibly useful for not only rookies, but some experienced members too. It covers how to be a team, CAD skills, hardware components, and software skills. There's a bunch of tutorials which you can use to assist yourself on this website. Well, that's it from me. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Another mission already. We just got back from the last competition.
Let's just hear what he has to say.
Good morning, agents. Your team has proven itself in the field. Design, code, build, you've done it all. But now, a new challenge. To stay competitive, you need guidance from veterans, alumni, skilled mentors, people who've been in the arena. Your challenge, should you accept it, recruit them. This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
We accept. I got into comms with an engineer from Kansas. John, do you copy?
I copy. Connecting with the businesses in your area is a great way to spread awareness of FIRST to the technical community. It's also a fantastic way to recruit knowledgeable mentors and potential sponsors. Most networking connections are just an email away.
I'm reaching out to some FTC alumni that we met at competition. Hey Matthew, do you copy?
I copy, Sophie. I'm excited to use my 7 years of FIRST experience to help mentor Mysteria this year. Good luck, everybody.
Well done, team. Once we have our people, our mission is accomplished. For now.
Hi. Hey.
Hello. Hi.
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 Hi. Hello. What FTC means to me is that we create our future.
What robotics means to me is I like making things, coming up with cool designs.
What robotics means to me is teamwork and innovation.
Advice I'd have for new teams: make sure that you advocate for yourself to your team members.
If I had to give advice, just realize when too much is too much.
What I would say to new teams is get involved, stay together.
We are
14707 Zero Logic.
Hi, my name is Krish.
And hi, my name is Andrew.
We're from Team 16290 Zip Ties, and today we're here to talk to you about programming tools and advice. If you want to code in Java, you'll mainly use Android Studio or IntelliJ. These are full coding environments where you can write, test, and organize your robot's programs.
If you'd rather write Java directly through the robot without installing software, you can use OnBot Java. It runs in a browser connected to your control hub.
Finally, there's block coding. The OnBot block coding tool lets you drag and drop commands, which is a great way to learn the basics.
Now some tips. Always prioritize reliability over complexity. A simple, solid robot code will win matches more than something complicated that breaks.
Keep your naming consistent to ensure that everybody on the team knows what each part does.
Structure your code by breaking it into methods or sections. That makes it way easier to debug and update during competitions.
Use sensors like encoders, IMUs, or distance sensors. They make your robot smarter and more accurate on and off the field.
And finally, ask for help. Programming is a team effort. Sharing ideas and solutions makes everyone stronger. We hope these programming tools and advice help you throughout the season. Good luck.
What type of lift should be used? 1. Should it be a lightweight linear slide? 2. Should it be a spring-loaded lift? 3. Should it be a single joint arm? 4. Should it be a 4-bar linkage bar?
What type of drive function should be used? Should we use mechanism wheels? Should we use a tank drive design? Should it be a standard drive system? Should it be robot or drive-centric driving?
Good luck with the new FTC season from Team 7341 French Fries.
How to Decode the Competition Manual by 16312 Team Sandman.
With the season release, it's time to work together.
Here are our tips. 1. Read the manual and know the rules.
Strategize together, considering what you have learned from the manual, and create a team plan and a timeline.
Number 3. Document everything you do.
Number 4. Know the requirements for each award and what's encouraged. Some have changed.
Number 5. Use the checklist to be ready for check-in at your first competition.
Don't forget to check the updates and Q&A.
We wish you luck this season as you decode the competition manual.
Hi Florida teams, this is Parth from FTC Team 7477, and today I'm going to be introducing you to our team's programming resource, the Tech Toolbox. This is a programming guide that was very helpful to both beginning and advanced teams in FTC, as it covers a wide range of topics and takes you from an absolute beginner to a very experienced programmer in terms of FTC. It covers very advanced topics like control theory, autonomous movement, and different forms of computer vision. You can easily navigate the guide through the side menu, clicking into any section and finding a topic that you want to know more about. If you click on any section, you'll find a detailed explanation on concepts within that section, as well as a code implementation for how you can incorporate it into your code base. Our guide is also open source. You can access our GitHub and make any pull requests that you feel may make the guide better. We hope this guide will help many teams this season, and thank you for watching.
Gamma Rays presents What Not to Do. What not to do, use Lego instructions. Instead, use the instructions in your robot kit. What not to do, put coffee beans in your robot.
Are there coffee beans on this robot? What are you talking about? No. Coffee beans? No.
Instead, stick to the first guidelines. What not to do, find a mentor who knows nothing about robots.
Hi, can you help us with this? We're having trouble understanding how to do this.
Do you know anything about robots?
Instead, find a mentor who can actually help. What not to do, be uninterested.
Let the best team win.
Instead,
How to choose a motor, presented by Team Sandman.
Here are the specs for a Gobilda and a Rev motor, available from their websites. What do all these numbers mean?
Speed. When the motor bears no load, is the fastest the motor can spin.
Stall torque is measured when the motor's angular velocity is 0 and it's drawn full current. It is the maximum torque a motor can output.
The motor's angular velocity is inversely related to the motor's load. As load is applied, angular velocity decreases.
DC motors can't output stall torque indefinitely. When run at higher torques, the motor draws more current, draining the battery and generating heat, which can damage the motors.
The peak power output of the motor occurs when the load is 50% of the stall torque. For extended operation, the load should not exceed 70% of stall torque.
RevRobotics.com provides a walkthrough to help understand the math and physics used in choosing a motor for your application.
What type of sensors should be used? Use touch sensors to limit movement. Use a color sensor to detect the line's color. Field element color to detect floor/field position. Use a distance sensor for traveling.
What materials do we have? 1. Do we have parts on last year's robot? 2. Do we have parts in the boxes? 3. What do we need to buy?
Thank you for watching our video. Good luck with the new FTC season from Team 7341 French Fries.
Hi, my name is Shrishti and I'm part of Team 16390 Zip Ties, and I'm going to be sharing some ways that you can fundraise as a rookie team.
Before you start fundraising, it is important to create a team budget. Here are some important factors to consider while planning. Once you have your budget, you can go into fundraising. The first way is to apply for grants. You can find many FIRST grants on firstinspires.org/robotics/team-grants, where you can filter out grants to be specific to your team. Make sure to periodically check this website, as grants are constantly changing. The second way is to approach local companies, usually through emails or a contact. You can also host in-person or online fundraising events, as well as reaching out to friends and family.
We hope that these fundraising tips help you throughout the season. Fundraising can be challenging, so don't feel discouraged if you don't get on the first try. Feel free to ask us any questions at teamzipties@gmail.com. We wish you the best of luck this season.
Hey guys, this is Sanjay from FTC Team 7477, Super 7. Today, I'm going to be talking about odometry with the goal of the pinpoint. So in FTC, reliable autonomous runs start with knowing where your robot is on the field. This is where we use odometry. Odometry uses small, unpowered wheels called dead wheels with encoders. As the robot moves, they measure distance and direction to calculate X, Y, and heading. Many teams use freewheel setups with encoders plugged into the rev hub. They work, but often need heavy tuning and lose accuracy. The global pinpoint, however, uses a two-wheel design that's lighter, simpler, and very accurate thanks to its built-in math. The pinpoint combines two tracking wheels, encoders, and bearings into one compact unit. It mounts directly to your drivetrain and plugs in like a normal encoder. The result is really consistent autonomous runs on your robot. Thank you guys for watching this educational video, and feel free to reach out to us at teamsuper7@gmail.com.
Hello, Florida First Tech Challenge teams. My name's Andrew Rudolph, and I'm reporting to you live from somewhere. See, I kind of lost track of where I'm at. And that's because AJ, our new program delivery partner, he sent Sid and I a bunch of clues to decode this year's game and figure it all out to get it back to you guys in time for this kickoff. And well, it's taken us a little while. So hopefully we can figure it out before kickoff has to happen in a little bit. Actually, come to think of it, looks like Sid just sent me a video message. Let's see what he has to say.
Hey Andrew, I think I figured out the last clue AJ sent us, but I'm unable to make it back to Orlando in time for the kickoff. I guess I'll just have to send my best wishes to AJ on his very first season as a program delivery partner, and even more best wishes to all the First Tech Challenge teams in decoding this year's game and a successful season. I will transmit my findings directly to Mike, Marissa, and Bob ASAP. With good wishes, this is Ref Sid signing off. Your favorite Ref Sid signing off. Thank you. Bye.
Oh man, that is such awesome news that Sid just said. AJ's gonna be so happy that we finally figured out that last clue. I'm happy he's gonna transmit it home, but I don't think I'm gonna make it back in time back to Lake Highland Prep in time for the kickoff. I'm sure Bob and Marissa and Mike Walker have it all figured out. In fact, I bet Mike Walker's got that live feed just about ready to go. So stay tuned because the kickoff's coming soon, and let me see if I can get out of here.
And now, Florida First Tech Challenge teams. Are you ready? Because the moment has arrived to kick off your first age. Presented by Qualcomm. This season's game, Decode, powered by RTX. Entering the arena for the very first time in his new capacity as Florida's program delivery partner. Calibrated for success, programmed for greatness. AJ Foster!
Later, when I'm behind the camera, I hope I get a chance to turn it around and show you the highly valued volunteers who are responsible for the nonsense that you just watched.
I think we're fired!
Hello and welcome to the kickoff for the 2025-2026 Decode presented by RTX season. I'm AJ, and you look familiar, but we haven't had you on the kickoff show for a few years now. So would you like to reintroduce yourself to everyone?
Of course. I'm Marissa Sherrick. I'm a referee for FTC. You've probably seen me in the Robot League, and if you've been to States, I've definitely been refereeing there.
Thank you for being here. And in case you didn't catch it in that obnoxious intro, I am AJ Foster, and I am honored to be your new program delivery partner for First Tech Challenge in Florida. Now, many of you, thank you, Mike. Many of you may not be aware of what a program delivery partner does, and I think that's a testament to just how well Hans Wolf has done this role for over 10 years. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And he has grown this program, grown First Tech Challenge in Florida, and weathered some difficult seasons. And I am so thankful to him for all of the time and effort that he's put in as an unpaid volunteer, nights and weekends, for over 10 years to make all of this possible. So thank you, Hans.
Thank you, Hans. We'll miss you.
I'm not coming in with any major changes to how we do things here in Florida, but there are a few things that we should talk about, starting with a change related to the Northeast League.
Yeah, we definitely want to say a big thank you to our past leaders, Leslie and Jason, and welcome in Carol and Joanne, who are taking care of the Northeast League from now on.
Yeah. Thank you, especially Leslie and Jason, for weathering us through some transition years over the past 2 years. Really appreciate all of your hard work. And teams in the Northeast League, you will hear from Carol and Joanne going forward. And I think all of their events are already scheduled and all ready to go, so you're on your way. So that's exciting. Of course, there are changes coming from First. Not as many as last season.
Oh, good.
But there is one important one that we should talk about, and that is a change to the way teams advance between levels of event. So teams advancing from the league tournaments to the Florida Championship, and from the Florida Championship to the First Championship and Premier events. Everything I'm about to say was published in a blog post on July 31st and was included in the preview release of the competition manual that came out in August. So there's no new news that I'm about to share. But this is a really important change, and it's going to affect how teams move from one tournament to the next. So let's go over what changed.
Yeah.
The overview of how it works is everything you do during the day of competition earns you points. And as you go through the day, you accumulate these points, and those points will determine who advances to the next level of tournament. So when you get your qualification match ranking, that earns you some points. When you are selected for an alliance, or you are the captain of an alliance, that will earn you advancement points as well. You get points for how far you make it through the playoff rounds. And of course, you get points for awards. And you add all those up, and that becomes your advancement point total by the end of the day.
Wow, that is definitely a change. I know the first question I have is, how do we track these points?
Yeah, so the good news is we don't have to sit down, pencil and paper, and add up any advancement points throughout the day. The scoring system is going to handle all of this. But if you as a team are curious about what that point system is and how everything adds up, it is all in the competition manual. It was in the preview release of the competition manual, and there may be some clarifications in the version that's released today. So go and check that out. Basically, there's no longer a table of advancement. There's no longer that table 4-1 from the competition manual that had, inspiring award first place, winning alliance captain, and pick, the static list of teams that would always advance. Instead, it's based on this more holistic measurement of your achievements throughout the day.
Wow, okay. Well, I think this makes a big change for how teams advance. What a kind of nerve-wracking, huh?
Yeah, so it is a big change, and it may affect your strategy as a team of where you put your focus throughout the season. Historically, some teams have focused more on the robot game and not spend as much time focused on awards, or vice versa. But this new system will really reward a holistic approach to the program. Your best chance to advance as a team is if you have some achievements in the robot game. You don't have to be the winning alliance captain to guarantee your spot, and some achievements in awards, but you don't have to be Inspire Award first place to guarantee your spot. So it'll be a little more even, and I think you're going to enjoy it overall.
Ooh, is this going to dramatically change experienced teams and how they play the game?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and you're welcome to go back through and do this math if you want. We're not going to share what I'm about to say, the numbers with everyone, but we went back through all of the events, all the league tournaments from last season, and ran the numbers under this new model just to see what would have changed. And the overview is, for many leagues, the same teams advanced. So not too much of a big change under this new model. And it's not going to be earth-shattering for many leagues. There were a few leagues where different teams advanced, especially at the end of the advancement slots. But the biggest change overall was the order of advancement. Who went first?
Okay. So it all matters how much points you get, and I think that's extremely motivating for teams to try to get focus more on awards and fully take first for all that it can give you.
Yeah, really about that holistic approach to the program. So we have a new narrative related to advancement now. There's one thing that we can't talk about yet that you'll see in the competition manual released today, and you'll get to understand it a bit better as we start going through the season. But all I can say is the qualification match rankings will be a little more accurate this year. And this new advancement model, add that into the mix with this whole point system and this holistic approach. Add in the fact that we have a bigger first championship with 336 teams advancing from around the world, and more premier events with more premier event slots. It's a lot. And suddenly, we put all that together, and this year is your best opportunity that you've ever had to advance to a new level of tournament, further than you have before. So just keep that in mind.
That's extremely motivating for any new teams coming in.
Yeah, so if you've been on the fence, maybe you have done league play and you've been close to advancing to the Florida Championship, or if you have been at the Florida Championship regularly and you've been on the edge to advancing to the first championship or a premier event, this is an incredible opportunity for you. So put in that work for both the awards and the robot game together, take that holistic approach, and we'll see you on the other side. I'm excited to see how it shakes out throughout the season.
No, I'm so excited.
So we have a few other things that we'll mention because we're not allowed to press play on that first reveal video until 12 noon Eastern time. So just a few other things that we want to let you know about because they could be cool things for you to be aware of. The first is there is an AI chatbot that is available that has been trained on the competition manual and the contents of the game, and you can go and ask it questions.
This seems like a perfect project for the first community, and I can see everyone very very excited for this.
Yeah, as I know that some teams last year went and tried to upload the competition manual to an LLM, and all the troubles that come with dealing with PDFs and diagrams that may not be well described. First has done all of that work for you. So as soon as the game is available and the competition manual is available later on after we do the reveal, you'll be able to go to this chatbot and ask it questions. Now,
As a ref, I can definitely say this isn't official game rules. It's we still have our forum that you have to confirm. I don't want to see any student coming up to the question box saying, this chatbot said this is the rule. It's not going to be official, recognized by first for rule decisions.
That's right. So when it comes to understanding the game and perfecting your strategy, you definitely have to read the actual rules as they're written in the competition manual and all of the team updates. Because mind you, there will be team updates that may not be loaded into that LLM by the time you use it. So just remember, it's your responsibility as a team to make the final decision of what your strategy is going to be, not the chatbot that you asked about the game.
But this is a really cool piece of technology. We can see everybody's interested in AI, and we can see the developments that will happen in years future.
Yeah. And so another thing I just want to mention is that we have team updates. They're usually released on a 2-week cadence, and Team Update 0 will be available today. So this is kind of going to get you into the practice of not only reading the competition manual, but also the team updates. And the Team Update 0 will not have any major changes to the competition manual, but it will help outline what has changed and some of the reformatting and wording changes from last year's competition manual. So it can be a good summary or a good way to get started for the season. We're getting close to time. Not quite ready to hit play yet, but just 1 or 2 more things. Team Q&A opens on September 22nd.
Yep,
so
end of the month.
Cache up your questions that you want to ask. Make sure you look for any obvious answers that may already be in the competition manual or Team Update 0, but you'll have an opportunity to ask questions of the Game Design Committee and for staff when that opens up on the 22nd. And we've got one more to mention, and then we're ready to kick off the official first broadcast, and that is that you can update or upload a team avatar to the scoring system.
Oh, you got your logo, you have your artwork.
Yeah.
Put it on the actual scoring system.
Some of you have done a lot of work to make some really cool logos for your teams. And if you go through the effort to upload it to the FTC scoring system, this will have to be done by one of your 2 lead coaches. Then that logo, once it's approved by first, will appear in the scoring system on screen when you're at an event. And that's just a nice little way to put some personal branding on the team on event day. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, it's so exciting. This new competition. I can't wait to see all the teams. We'll have competitions going all season long. It's very exciting to see how these students tackle this game.
Yeah. See, we already know what the game is, so we're really excited for you all to learn about it and see all of the high-flying action that might happen as a result.
It'll be a lot of fun.
We're coming down to the end here, and we're going to show you the official first reveal video that will include the game reveal and a field walkthrough tour from First HQ. I hope you're excited. Any last words?
Good luck, teams.
Good luck. We'll see you on the other side.
Hello teams, coaches, mentors, volunteers, parents, friends, and the entire First Tech Challenge community. I'm happy to be here for the First Tech Challenge 2025-2026 season kickoff and reveal of Decode, presented by RTX, part of the First Age season presented by Qualcomm. All 10 of the 2025 Dean's List Award winners are here today, and we're honored to be your kickoff celebration hosts. We have a full show today, packed with messages from some familiar first faces, the Decode season reveal, and a detailed field walkthrough to help teams get started, season planning, and gameplay strategy. All of the Decode game materials will be published on our website after the live stream. Be sure to use the website as your reference during the season.
Hi First Tech Challenge. I'm thrilled to be here today to dig into our Decode season and celebration. Before we reveal this season's game, we'd like to celebrate our 2025 First Championship and Premier Event winners. Congratulations on an exceptional season. This year, we're excited to continue our premier events, increase our event invitations, and expand our event locations. Here are the locations your team could earn the opportunity to advance to this season.
To officially welcome you to our kickoff today, we have First Chief Executive Officer, Chris Moore.
Hello, First Tech Challenge community. I'm Chris Moore, CEO of First. I am thrilled to help reveal Decode, presented by RTX, part of the First Age season presented by Qualcomm. This season, you and more than 83,000 First Tech Challenge participants around the world will dig into an archaeology-inspired STEM adventure to unlock the mysteries of our past. Robots, game pieces, tools, team t-shirts, portfolios, pizza boxes, banners, all of these items will become artifacts that can help future archaeologists discover the first story. And along the way, you will demonstrate gracious professionalism and cooperation, allowing you to uncover new confidence and resilience, strengthening your STEM skills in your community in ways that will shape the legacy you leave behind. From all of us at First, we are excited to see what new findings you uncover. Thank you to mentors, coaches, parents, volunteers, and our many supporters for making First Tech Challenge and the Decode season possible. Good luck, teams.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. A huge thank you to all our generous sponsors this year for making the Decode game and First Age season possible. For 20 years, Qualcomm has been inspiring First students to make their mark and create groundbreaking innovations. Let's hear from Qualcomm's Vice President of Engineering, who made her mark on Mars.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams. Welcome to Decode, part of the First Age season presented by Qualcomm. I'm Anya Shivnan, Vice President of Engineering at Qualcomm Technologies Incorporated. And I was a member of the team that helped launch the Mars Ingenuity helicopter in 2021. 40 years ago, Qualcomm began revolutionizing wireless technology and connectivity. 20 years ago, we began our partnership with First, helping to inspire future visionaries. And today, we are driving the future of connected devices, artificial intelligence, and next-generation computing. Innovation and imagination are at the center of every milestone. And these are the same mindsets and STEM skills you're developing this season. As you uncover the future this season, be sure to make your mark. Good luck, teams.
Thank you, Anya, and thank you, Qualcomm. Now let's go behind the scenes with Decode season presenting sponsor RTX to see how some of their innovations they're developing are just like the technologies that archaeologists are using to dig deeper than ever before.
Check it. Welcome to the 2025 First Tech Challenge. This season, you will investigate the power of the world's artifacts and unlock mysteries in Decode, presented by RTX. I'm a first mentor and lead test engineer at RTX, where I support both ground and flight testing to help develop the next generation of jet engines. Today, I want to show you a couple of the cool technologies we work on. Check it. Here in Portsmouth, Rhode Island, RTX's underwater acoustics capability is similar to the technology archaeologists use to locate, image, and map ancient sites and artifacts. Synthetic aperture sonar uses an artificial array of transducers to scan the seafloor, collecting data to form an ultra-high resolution picture. These images reveal the shape and size of objects, like shipwrecks, in much more detail than traditional sonars. And from the sky, archaeologists use remote sensing techniques to research past societies and cultures. RTX unlocked the next generation of remote sensing by using digital engineering to produce sensors that are smaller, lighter, and more capable for a variety of Earth observation missions. Traveling on satellites, these imaging instruments provide maximum resolution imagery from space. Working with NASA, RTX is designing a new remote sensing instrument to identify land patterns like crop production, mineral mapping, and forest management. At RTX, we've been at the forefront of innovation for more than a century. We developed aero-defining airplane engines in the early 1900s, invented the microwave oven, and even created the computer that guided the Apollo astronauts to the moon. Right now, RTX engineers work in 30 countries, focused on things like advanced avionics, directed energy, electric propulsion, hypersonics, and quantum physics. Hundreds of mentors like me and FIRST alumni worldwide are ready to connect with you and decode the world of robotics. Working together, we can solve some of the world's greatest challenges and answer its biggest questions. We've made our mark in history. Now it's your turn. Good luck, teams.
Thank you, Amanda, and thank you to the hundreds of RTX mentors and volunteers who support the FIRST community around the world.
We want to take a moment to remind our community that gracious professionalism is an important part of what makes FIRST, FIRST, and that it's also at the heart of each team practice and get-together, and each and every FIRST Tech Challenge event. This year, Rachel Moore and Colin Foltz are sharing a message about gracious professionalism.
Thanks, Olivia. I'm Rachel and this is Colin. We're both FIRST alumni and together we lead FIRST Tech Challenge. We know everyone is excited to see this year's game reveal, but before we get to that, we'd like to talk about something that's important and part of the ethos of FIRST programs, gracious professionalism.
If you've never heard the term before, gracious professionalism is kind of like good sportsmanship. But instead of only describing how to behave when you compete, it can apply to all aspects of your life. Gracious professionalism is a way of doing things that encourages high-quality work, emphasizes the value of others, and shows respect for individuals and the community.
FIRST is a small cross-section of the real-life opportunities that each of you will have to make decisions which reflect gracious professionalism. Practicing gracious professionalism doesn't have to be large, sweeping gestures. Instead, it's the little choices that each of us makes when no one is watching that all combine and fuse together to form our collective culture. You already know how to compete hard, and you know how to be kind. Think about how your actions make others feel and how that makes you feel.
Your team probably plans strategy before the season and before each match. You can do the same exercise for how you will handle challenging interpersonal situations that might come up throughout the season. You won't always get it right, and that's okay. Because gracious professionalism is a journey, not a destination. It's something we should strive to practice every day. When we make a mistake, we should own it, offer a sincere apology, and attempt to make amends. Then, find ways to do better in the future.
FIRST can be challenging. It's supposed to be. And that means that at times during this season, you may feel pressure and experience stress. In those difficult times, it might seem easier to be selfish or only take your own interests into account. After all, even if you do everything the right way, there's only a handful of teams that will win their last match of the season and be celebrated as world champions. But while there's a limited number of championship trophies, there's no such limit on the number of teams who will have a successful season. Don't waste your time on being envious of others' success. Ask questions, challenge yourself, learn from others, and share your own knowledge.
FIRST programs would not be possible without the time committed by tens of thousands of caring adult volunteers, including team coaches and mentors. As FIRST alumni, we know the impact that mentors and coaches can have on a young person's life. Mentors and coaches are key to establishing and maintaining a team culture. On behalf of more than 100,000 FIRST Tech Challenge students, thank you for all that you do. Aristotle once said, "Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all." This season, we hope you have the opportunity to educate both. Good luck.
What an important message from Rachel and Colin. Teams, take a moment as you start your season to think about how you will display gracious professionalism in your community.
We can't wait to show you all the most important part of our Decode kickoff, the reveal.
After the reveal, make sure to stick around for the field walkthrough and a great video about starter robots, designed to help your team start playing and learning about Decode quickly.
And now, the exhilarating reveal of the 2025-2026 First Tech Challenge game, Decode, presented by RTX.
Welcome to the First Tech Challenge 2025-2026 season game, Decode, presented by RTX. Decode is played by 4 randomly selected teams, 2 per alliance. Your opponent for one match may be your partner for another. Robots must be built to meet the specifications in the competition manual and fit within an 18-inch sizing cube. Robots and their extensions must remain within the 18-inch sizing cube until the endgame. The game is played on a 12-foot square playing field with a foam tile floor and 1-foot-high walls. On the playing field is a red alliance goal and a blue alliance goal. At the exit of each goal is the classifier ramp and a gate. April tags are located on the goal to assist with targeting.
On the field, there are 24 purple artifacts and 12 green artifacts.
Robots start each match in one of 2 locations and can hold up to 3 artifacts. At the start of each match, a motif made up of 3 artifacts is randomly selected and indicated on the obelisk. During the first 30 seconds of the match, robots are autonomous. Robots can use sensors to decode the motif, leave the starting line, and score artifacts in the goal. Artifacts that enter the goal and exit to the classifier ramp earn points. Once the classifier is full, any additional overflow will score, but will earn fewer points. At the end of auto, alliances earn additional points if the artifacts in the classifier match the motif pattern. During the following 2 minutes of the match, drivers control their robots. Robots continue to score in their goal, open the gate to clear the classifier, and collect artifacts from their human player. Alliances that score enough artifacts in their goal throughout the match will earn an additional ranking point.
The last 20 seconds of the teleop period is the endgame.
Robots continue to score to fill their classifier to form the motif pattern. As time runs out, robots race to their base where they can expand in height. Points are awarded to robots partially in their base, and even more points are awarded to robots fully in their base. If both robots fit within their base, the alliance receives bonus points. An alliance that can earn enough points from moving in auto and returning to their base will receive an additional ranking point. The alliance that earns the most points overall wins the match and will earn 3 ranking points. This has been a summary of this season's game, Decode, presented by RTX. For complete rules, please read the competition manual, and always remember to demonstrate the first ethos of gracious professionalism. Good luck, teams, and have a great season.
Wow, what an exciting game we have ahead of us. Here to give us a closer look at the field is Erin Fadden.
Hey teams, I'm Erin Fadden, part of the First Tech Challenge Game Design Committee. In this walkthrough, we'll take a closer look at the field for this year's game challenge, Decode, presented by RTX. The scoring elements for this year's game are called artifacts. Artifacts are 5-inch plastic spheres. Both the green artifacts and the purple artifacts can be scored by either alliance to earn points. At the start of the match, some of the artifacts are staged on the floor in specific locations. This allows teams to collect them, especially during the auto period, in order to create the motif pattern. Directly behind the perimeter wall is the obelisk. The obelisk is a 3-sided structure with an April tag on each of the 3 faces. Before the match begins, one of the 3 motifs are randomly chosen and the obelisk is rotated to show which motif has been selected. Teams can use vision to read the April tag and determine which pattern will earn additional points during the match. The obelisk will be placed in the same spot after each rotation, but since it is moved every match, it is not intended to be used for precise navigation. On the field is a red goal and a blue goal. Each goal is located in the corner of the field, and they are mirror images of each other. The goals are made out of an aluminum metal structure and thick corrugated plastic panels. The front lip of the goal is 38.75 inches off the floor. On the floor at the front face of the goal is a tape line. Teams can push artifacts into the tape line for additional points, but be aware, artifacts may roll away if left unattended. The goals and ramps are attached to the perimeter walls and designed to stay in place when robots run into them, but may move a little during gameplay. Each goal has a unique April tag for teams to use for targeting. As robots launch artifacts into the goal, the artifact will exit and roll down the ramp. Most of the time, the artifacts that enter the goal first will exit the goal first, but robots that can launch quickly might need to slow down between shots to ensure the artifacts stay in order. Once an artifact exits the goal, it will roll down the classifier ramp. At the end of each ramp is a gate. The gate will be in a closed position until a robot pushes it open. A closed gate will stop the flow of artifacts and allow them to collect on the ramp. Once the ramp is full, any additional artifacts scored will overflow and roll towards the exit. Robots can open the gate by pushing down or driving into the extended lever. Once the gate is open, the artifacts on the ramp will be released and drop onto the tile floor. This season, human players are allowed to retrieve artifacts from the loading zone and place them into their robots. But remember, teams are not allowed to touch their robots during the match and should be careful to keep their hands away from the robots while retrieving and entering artifacts onto the field. The center of the field is wide open with no protective zones. Red Alliance robots and Blue Alliance robots will be collecting artifacts, driving, and attempting to score, all in the same space. Teams should build robust robots and be prepared for robot-to-robot interactions to take place in the center of the field as robots collect artifacts, take their shots, and play defense. During the endgame, robots can earn points by ending the match in their base zone. This is the only time during the match where teams are allowed to expand larger than the 18-inch cube. The base zone is an 18-inch tape square located near each Alliance loading zone. So, precise driving will be required, and robots built to the maximum size dimensions may have a challenging time fitting into the square. Teams will need to work together with their Alliance partners to maximize points. I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of Decode. Please make sure to read this year's First Tech Challenge competition manual. The competition manual has all of the game and robot construction rules, as well as everything you need to know about tournaments, awards, and more. Throughout the season, we'll be publishing team updates, where the competition manual will be updated on a weekly basis. Also, every team will have access to one account to ask questions and receive answers on the First Tech Challenge Q&A forum. Thank you for watching, and we hope you have a great season.
Thanks so much, Erin. The field looks full of creative and fun new challenges. Next up, we have Danny Diaz to share some important information about starter bots for our upcoming season.
Hi teams, I'm Danny Diaz, First Tech Challenge Senior Engineering Manager. I'm thrilled to share with you some of the new and exciting team resources for this year's game, Decode, presented by RTX. This season, we've worked with Andy Mark, GoBuildUp, Rev, and Studica to create starter bots. These robots are made from parts in each vendor's starter kits. They are intended to be a starting point, not an ending point. We encourage all teams to utilize these build resources as they begin to explore Decode. Teams can build one of these designs and then choose to change and improve their robots throughout the season for competition. Each starter bot design has similar capabilities to play a portion of the Decode game. These robots can drive around the field, score artifacts into the goal, and collect additional artifacts from a human player. Resources for all of the starter bots can be found on the First Tech Challenge webpage. Robot code for starter bots is available in Java and blocks. The robots even have a basic autonomous mode to launch preloaded artifacts and move. Building a starter bot is a great way for a team to get started and for driving practice during the season. We've also worked with First Canada and the folks at the FTC Sim for the Decode season. FTC Sim is a virtual coding tool that allows users to code and run a virtual First Tech Challenge robot autonomously. Users can learn everything from basic movement to how to use sensors by completing a series of puzzles using blocks or Java. The Decode field will be available right after kickoff in the simulator, so you can dig in right away and get familiar with the field virtually. Team members can learn to code, explore the field, and test out new ideas before building their own robot or field. A special thank you to First Strategic Partner, the Argosy Foundation, for helping make FTC Sim possible. Additional control system documentation, helpful tech tips, and more can be found on the FTC Docs page. We hope you'll check out and utilize all the resources we have to offer on the First Tech Challenge website. Thank you for watching, and we hope you have a great season.
That looks like there's some great starter robot options for our teams this year. Make sure to check out more information on our website. We can't wait to see your creative solutions and robots in action on the field.
Everyone's invited to explore Decode. If you haven't registered yet, there's still time to join in on the action. Visit our website for details and steps to get started. Already on a team? Check out our free social graphics, recruitment posters, logos, and more. And be sure to tag First Tech Challenge on your team's social posts. Thanks for joining us to kick off this season and for being part of the First community.
Good luck, teams!
So that's Decode. I'm really excited to see this game in action, and I hope you are too. We're going to take your questions live over the YouTube chat in a little bit, but first, we should hear from our referees, Bob and Marissa.
Hello, I'm Referee Bob.
I'm Referee Marissa.
And we're here today to give you a little more explanation about the new FTC game Decode this year. Disclaimer, this is our best understanding of the rules after a brief review. Please post any questions you have to the game forum when it opens up so you can get an official answer.
If you're watching this maybe 2 weeks after kickoff, the rules have probably already changed. Go check the forum.
There's several zones and areas that have certain protections and certain rules around them. We're going to talk about a few of those. The first is the ramp and how we can score that. It refers to G Rule 419.
You can only score through the goal at the top.
And you cannot either place or launch it and have it come through here. That will incur a foul.
The next zone we're going to be talking about is the gate zone that's protected. When an alliance is in the gate zone going to open their gate, they're protected. Does not matter who initiates contact. There'll be a foul incurred if the opposite alliance touches the robot. However, if the robot is also in the secret tunnel, no protection is given.
The next area is the secret tunnel, governed by Rule G425. It is allowable for the opposing alliance to take artifacts out of the other alliance's secret tunnel, but if opposing alliance is in this alliance's secret tunnel and there's contact, that opposing alliance robot will get a foul. So it's a strategy you can use, but you have to be careful and understand about the contact.
The next zone we'll be talking about is the loading zone. Your robot is always protected in the loading zone. If an opposing alliance touches your robot, they incur a foul. G431 and 433, which are all about moving artifacts in your loading zone and loading them into your robot. Pay special attention when you're loading the artifacts into your robot, as it has to be fully supported by your robot, and you shouldn't be touching your robot at all.
So the next zone we're going to talk about is the base zone. It's governed by Rule G427. The difference here is the protection is only allowed during the last 20 seconds of the teleop period. And the same thing goes. If you're in your alliance, if you're base zone, the other opposing alliance cannot make contact with you. It'll be a foul in the opposing alliance. There are expansion limits rules this year, which are governed by G414 and G415 with the descriptions in R105. Not only is there a horizontal expansion limit, which is limited to 18 by 18, which is the outline of this square, there's a vertical limit as well. And the one thing is the vertical limit, you cannot extend out of that until the last 20 seconds of the teleop period. You need to read the rules and understand that, and it'll also be something that'll be checked during inspection this year. So that was a brief overview of the rules. Again, best estimation after a short review, please post questions to the game forum. And remember that if you see this video later in the year, that some of the rules may have gotten clarification and or updates.
And if Sid was here, he would say, read the manual, read the manual, read the manual.
That's great. Hope to see you all. Have a great season and see you soon at an event.
Secret tunnel.
Well, hey guys, that was a great video we had. It was a great thing from First All That. We're very excited about the game. We're going to answer your Q&A questions on the YouTube chat. Try our best again. Caveat, we've just read these rules several times. We got a pretty decent idea, but it's not there. Post it to the forum when it opens up. It'll be September 22nd, so you get official answer and they can update the team rules. And if you, as Marissa said, if you watch this later in the season, you want to check because things may have been updated and changed by First. So if you guys are ready, I think we're ready for some questions.
All right, we've got our first question. Can you grab more than 3 of the artifacts?
The possession rule for the robot is they can only have up to 3 at any given time. And also there can only be 6 in the tray there that's to the side. As soon as teams get more than that, they need to try to quickly put those back into the thing. Human player theoretically can, hold a decent number, but they are pretty big. They are 5 inches, so it'd be kind of hard to hold more than probably 3 or 4.
And they do say put it back into gameplay, so you cannot hoard the artifacts.
Yes.
So there's a good follow-up here with that that ties in. Can your robot shoot from anywhere, or are there limited zones?
The zones. They call it launch zones for that reason.
There's one here in the front.
Right here in the back.
You have to be in
the zone. Nowhere outside in this empty field.
Yes. Partially in, break the plane of this, make it obvious that a referee can see that you're clearly in the zone, but as long as you're clearly breaking the plane of the tape, the outside edge, as always, you'll be good to go.
All right, our next one, as we've done in previous seasons, there have been extension limits. How does that apply this season?
End game. That's it. You are limited to 18 inches until the last 20 seconds, where in this box, you can extend and be taller.
And get the difference this year is horizontal is 18 the entire game. The only time in end game, that last 20 seconds, you can extend vertically up to 38 inches. So again, your horizontal is always limited to 18 total.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where it is in the game period, last 20 seconds, you can get up more vertically. 20 seconds, not 30. That is a difference from last year. So there will be the usual sounds and stuff in the game that'll cue you into that, and the MCs and such will be calling that out. So just keep that in mind when you're doing some of your planning and timing, that you only have 20 seconds in order to do those things in the base zone.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a great question here. It's basically asking, can the alliance partner open the gate and then you retrieve them? So kind of like a tag team type of effort. So the actual question was, can we grab them as the game pieces as they are falling if our alliance partner opens the gate?
Wait,
I believe that is okay. I don't believe there's anything that says that it needs to touch the tile floor. Double check that. That may be clarified, but they could do that. It could be congested a little bit, but
you are limited to 3, and there might be more than 3 on the ramp. So if you collect 4, that would incur a foul.
Awesome. And tying in with that, can the other alliance intake the stuff coming out of your thing? I forget the name of the goals.
Oh, so you're saying one robot takes it from the other?
Coming out of the gate here down at this area.
So maybe we throw
it sounds like it's can an alliance open another team's gate essentially?
Oh, absolutely not.
No.
The only person who can touch the gate is that alliance's robots. If the other one does, you will incur a foul. It is a projected zone with these 2 pieces of tape. If you touch the other, if the the blue robot happened to be over here and the red robot touched it, it would be a foul on the red robot.
Wonderful. This is more of a programming question, but this person's wondering, how do you actually track the artifacts order if you let them out of the collector?
End. It's how it rests. What the order and when we end the game.
Yeah, so at the end of auto, we're going to look at what those are and do the final recording, and then at the end of the game, it's going to do that. And there. So we'll keep kind of track of it on the tablets, I'm sure, during the thing. But if it were to change, it's only at the end of auto, end of the game, that we're going to look at the motif pattern to see you get those particular points. But we will always count how many that come through the square and count whether they're classified or overflow.
Wonderful. And another programming question that I think is interesting, or this is one actually a programming question. Can you use AI for teleop? And I think what they're trying to refer to is the automated routines that you're using in your autonomous. Are you able to do that to be kind of semi-autonomous during teleop?
Sure. I mean, I don't know there's any rules against it. I would look more into probably Section 12, the robot construction rules and software rules in there to see. But I did not see anything in my review. I didn't review that very closely as I was focusing on the game rules. But it's very likely you could use some of the things they've used in the past.
This is an interesting strategy question. If your robot empties the ramp, must it let all of the artifacts out, or can the robot close the gate strategically? So it sounds like, can they release a few but kind of keep them built up?
We talked about this. That's a forum question. Because the rule is you can't grab it. So you can't like lift it up
You
and
can't.
then...
Oh, let me get so AJ can see my hand. If I can push to open this, but I can't do this to shut it. And if we put several of these in here, you will see how fast they come up. And I can't, by just releasing it, stop them very quickly, very accurately. But if you can figure out how to do that and not grasp it, have at it.
Great. The next one is a question about the different zones for shooting. Do you get more points when shooting from the far zone?
No.
Nope. It's all about strategy.
Easy, love it. Okay.
Yeah, it's how you build your robot.
Yeah, and basically, I'd see the advantages. You're a little bit closer to the loading zone for this first one, so it would take you less time to get there and shoot, but the other one is much bigger, and you probably have to have a less accurate shooting mechanism of some sort to do it. I don't know. I don't design robots typically, but I bet you guys will come up with some pretty cool designs.
All right. The questions are coming in real fast here, so I'm trying to keep up. So just give me a second while I look through here.
No problem.
Would we get a penalty if our robot broke before the end game on the opposing alliance's home? So I guess they're talking about if it's still at rest in that area.
I guess
it's only because if there's contact, yes. And the only exception would be is if we were able to declare that you might be disabled to do that, but very likely there would be a foul incurred with that if the other robot made contact. So that's the thing. You can be in the other alliance's certain zones, but you take a high risk of all that has to happen is contact initiated, and it does not matter who initiates the contact. If you're a blue robot in a red zone, all the red robot needs to do is come over and make contact, and you, the blue robot, will incur a foul. So keep that in mind as you're doing your strategy.
Our next one's an interesting one, and it's probably about whether it's foul. They're wondering what happens if you hit a spectator with the artifacts.
Oh, yeah, don't hit. It is the rule that you should keep all your artifacts in here. I think it depends on intent is what it's going to come down to.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yeah, please do not. And the other thing, too, is field personnel will try to get it back to get it returned, but referees are going to continue to watch the gameplay. FTAs may or may not be in a position if they're helping a team to do that. So you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage by taking a potential scoring element out of the field of play. So you need to pay attention to not doing it. And again, if there's intention, it looks like you're intentionally doing it, that will incur fouls.
Our next one's just kind of a clarifier. How long, and this is coming from the Gulf Coast Kickoff, so shout out to you guys and the other sites. How long is auto and how long is endgame? It sounded like endgame was 20 seconds.
Endgame's 20, so it's still that 2-minute game. Instead, it's a minute 40.
Yeah, minute 40 till endgame.
And then last 20 seconds is endgame.
Yeah, and just remember, in the last 20 seconds, you can continue to score in the goal and do things and stuff like that. You know, you don't necessarily have to just do the base. You may want to because of the extra points potentially, is that your strategy, but you may have a strategy where you can score more than a goal.
All right, the next one is, can you talk about the dimensions of the scoring box? Like, do you happen to know them off the top of your head?
No.
Okay.
Those are all in the game manual.
Yes,
Those
they
are all in the game.
Yes, they're in the game manual. They have
Competition.
exact dimensions. You know, the loading zone is, you can see the inside teeth of a tile. This is 18 inches, as we talked about.
I think they said 30.
This is about 6 or so, the secret tunnels. This is these pieces here, the white tape and the blue tape's about 10 inches roughly. And you can see this comes from the end to this is the center of the field. And that's just the first row of tiles there, the first launch zone near the front of the field. So rough idea. But look, the game manual, or the competition manual, has some excellent things in there. And also the build manual has all the exact dimensions, so you can look at that and figure that out if you need to.
The next question is, can your launcher temporarily exceed the space volume requirement?
It's the 18 inches. So if you have something that you're designing to go up and shoot, it will not be allowed.
Yes.
The next one is, does the robot have to be fully in the launch zone to get balls into the collection, artifacts into the collection area? Sounds like they're wondering if they're touching the line or.
Yeah.
It's just as long as they have in the zone, i.e. they have broken the plane of the either launch zone, they're okay. So they don't need to be fully in. They could be fully in if they want to, but they don't need to.
So we've got a very ambitious team already. Can't wait to see where they go. Can you empty the gate and score again in auto? These guys are already thinking about just going crazy with this.
If you have enough time and you can figure out the auto programming and do that, and you can get enough artifacts, there's nothing that says you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
This question is about the color markings. Why is the secret tunnel marked as red when it is coming out of the Blue Alliance's scoring area?
That is part of the strategy, is that's a red protected area on the blue side. So you as a blue robot have to be aware of that to do that. So it's part of it. It put some additional strategy in there, and that you would have to pay attention, because you also know that right next to that is the red base zone.
And the red alliance zone.
And the red alliance, and oh, by the way, the
This
red
is
alliance
the red
is going to stand on this side by the blue goal, and the blue alliance is going to stand by the red goal. So
there you go.
There's some things to do. So there's some strategy that will need to be thought through for that, how to get from one side of the field to the other depending on what you're trying to do.
So if you're standing on the red zone, you're scoring across the field.
Yes.
All right. This is something that's come up from time to time. I think I know the answer already, but sometimes in previous games, teams have found a way to do what is kind of called an infinite loop to just keep points going. And so the question is, can you infinitely rescore an element if you keep opening the gate, and can you open the gate if the area is not completely full of balls?
There's nothing saying that you can't open the gate prior to filling it.
So yes, if you want to do one at a time and open it up, that's fine. And you do not need to have, I believe 9 artifacts will fit into the classifier at a time. If you want 2 in there and you want them out because you want to try to score with them, make a different motif, whatever, you can let those out at pretty much any time, as long as you don't grasp it.
And you can't shove like an artifact to open the gate. It can only be a robot that opens the gate.
Yes, good point.
And you have to be careful because the opposite alliance has a protected zone right outside of the gate.
Yes, so there needs to be some well thought out strategy there, which I'm excited about, see how you guys are going to tackle those strategy concerns.
So we've got one coming from the Gulf Coast League. Our commissioner over there, Stephen Kowski, a good friend of mine, says, would you be penalized if you purposely left the gate open?
Well, you can't purposefully. You have to consciously have the gate open. Like we just mentioned, is like you can't shove something there to prop it open. A robot has to open the gate, and the moment you leave, it's going to fall down.
Yeah, it's on some bearings, so it's not going to stay open. If you just watch, as soon as I move my hand, as soon as the robot moves away, it's falling back into place. So there's not really a way to do that. You'd have to physically hold it open if you wanted to keep it open.
Or break it, which you're not allowed to do.
Yes, which would have a very uncomfortable conversation with a head referee such as myself or Marissa.
So this one is, as you know, First is usually very focused more on wanting to see an offensive type of strategy instead of a defensive. They want to see build. They want to see teams, getting high points and having a lot of time. And this question is, can you block another team's shot?
No, you cannot block their shot. You can be jostling them as they're trying to take one, but you can't, what we would call goal 10 for that. But other than that, you can pretty much, there's no protections when you're here and you're trying to launch, there's no protections for a robot that is trying to launch artifacts.
All right, the next one is a clarifier. When you go for a park in endgame, does the robot on top have to start climbing before or after it gets in the square?
Oh, you can extend anywhere.
Once, you can
extend.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think I messed that up. You can extend out here even if you wanted to score, but you'll want to if you wanted 2 robots to stack on the actual base.
Yes.
So yeah, you can extend prior and then drive on top of another robot.
During that 20 seconds.
During the last 20 seconds, yes. The only time you can do that.
So what type of protections are there for the secret tunnel?
Basically, if a opposing alliance is in the secret tunnel and gets touched by the owning alliance of that tunnel, it's a foul on the opposing alliance robot. And
Something really important, it's all the protected zones is contact fouls. So if a blue robot is there collecting, it's not getting any fouls until the blue robot touches a red robot in that protected zone.
So you were talking about defensive strategy earlier. If you notice the opposite alliance in one of your protected zones, you can drive over and help them to incur a foul.
That's going to be the
That
challenge.
could happen. That is definitely will be. So yeah, that's a strategy about being in the opposing alliance. Yes, there are some things because in years past, like I said, there's been zones, the opposing alliance zone you've not been able to go into, you've incurred fouls. This year, that's not the case for most of those, with the exception of the gate.
Yep.
And can you, since we're talking about the secret tunnel, can you clarify what's the overall point of the secret tunnel? Why is that a part of this game?
Well, it's kind of interesting. So like people have said, oh, I want to open up the gate and rescore so you can get that 3 points. But if you open the secret tunnel, all these protected zones are going straight to the red loading zone. So that's the whole point. It's like you cannot hoard the artifacts. That's the whole point. If you are releasing to score more points, you are giving your opposing alliance a chance to also score those points. So it can't just be a continuous loop. They are making it hard for you.
All right, so the next one is coming from Gulf Coast Kickoff. So could you shoot into the opposing team zone to mess up their pattern?
No.
No.
You have to shoot into yours, I think.
Actually, I don't. I think whichever one shoots in there. That's a good question. I think that you're allowed to shoot in either one. I don't recall there being any restrictions on that. There may be. Please check that. Don't take my word for it. I didn't think about that. So
would it be like intentionally trying to mess up their motif?
I think the only thing would be is it could be you come into the rule where you can't intentionally make the game play harder with using the scoring elements to play. That it could bring into that rule could come into effect, but
that it's in most cases, if you're trying to interfere with another team, that defensive type of strategy, it's usually going to result in a foul in general.
It could be.
Not all the time.
The other thing too is you are scoring points for the other team. You got to realize if you do that, and they're going to get the number of points if that goes into the classifier, and you're not. So, that's something to think about. Yeah, you might mess their motif or something up a little bit, but you are going to give them the points for that artifact scoring in the goal, and you're also going to not be able to have you score the point. So you'd have to really think through that and do that because I think it would be detrimental to your overall score.
This one is I lost it, but it was asking if you could empty the ramp before it's completely full.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
If there's one artifact in there and you want to let it out and do something with it, have at it.
Is there a height limit to how high you can shoot? So I think people are talking about like parabolic arcs type of thing and stuff like that.
So far, there's not been anything in there. I would think there may be eventually, but right now there's not. But remember, you need to keep them in the field and not intentionally do it. So.
And don't hit ceilings. It could end up making that go somewhere you don't want it to.
Yes, absolutely.
That sounds like something where you kind of want to aim kind of high. And that's a joke for Stephen Kowski. I'm kind of vamping here as I'm going through. The questions are flying in. I'm going to let AJ talk for just a moment. Oh, no, never mind. I'm not going to let AJ talk for just a moment. Can you use sensors to attach to your robot to pick up the artifacts?
I do not believe there's any rules that would be against that. If you have some sensors to look at the color or where they're at, something like that, and you can do the associated programming and mechanisms, I think that'd be perfectly legal strategy.
This one's kind of half joking, but I think it could be a potential thing, and possibly they're talking about kind of creating a loop. They're saying, can you do an alley-oop and launch the ball into your team's robot for them to launch? So kind of one team feeding to another.
Yeah, you can. Robots can pick up artifacts any place on the field. So if one robot wants to release it, pick it up, it's fine. You can't rip it out of another robot. But
yeah.
And another one coming from the Gulf Coast League. Oh, I hit the wrong button. I unfavorited it. Sorry, guys. I'll try to find that again in the sea of. We're up to about 1,000 comments so far, so it's coming. They're coming. They're flying, which is great. We love to see the engagement, and it's just really it's cool to see the things.
yeah, one thing I want to mention is if you're shooting the artifact onto the goal, it's actually really nice because this is kind of it doesn't bounce far back out. It just goes in and down. So it's anybody who's worried about that, it's not, it doesn't bounce how you like would against a wall.
It's
very forgiving. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So you have a little bit of grace with your aim.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, I think we're going to make this our last question because there are so many. Then, as it is, read the manual, read the manual, read the manual. And then when in doubt, read the manual. And Sid will let you know, again, to read the manual. But this one is about the human player role, and I think this is our first question in regards to that. Can the human player roll artifacts across the field?
No.
No, they're not. The rule is in there. G rule says you may not yeet, which is a very semi-archaic word about launching, so you cannot. So you can place them into the loading zone. You can place them into the robot. And as we said, you can do that. However, you got to make sure you do not contact the robot to do that, but you can't roll them, say, if over from that corner they couldn't roll, if I was a robot here, somebody couldn't roll out an artifact to me to do that. That would result in a foul.
And it is obvious when you go, or if you like try to push it with your hand, referees can see that.
Yes.
All right, and AJ, let's send it back there.
Here you go. Have some prompts.
Oh, thank you.
We just want to say thank you for joining us for this kickoff. We hope you enjoy this game. I'm really excited to see all of these go flying across the field as we get this season started. Thanks for joining us. And Mike has one more word to close us out.
I just wanted to wave at the camera. Bye, guys. Good luck. We'll see you at the competitions. And by the way, Space Coast in Orlando, your judge advisor is watching.
We'll see you.
See ya.